Hi there and welcome to my video on playing barres. This will be one of two videos that I've done. The first one deals with just smaller barres and the second video will deal with full-size barres. So the first thing to do, of course, when we're talking about doing barres, before we play the exercise, we really need to practice getting the barre and getting the strings to sound clearly. So a barre, of course, is just playing more than one string at a time with the left hand, and then we can either strum or fingerpick to play the strings. So if I just demonstrate, I'm doing a 3-string barre on fret 5 on strings 1, 2 and 3. Okay, and if I just play each string on its own, you can hear we've got a nice clean sound. And normally the most important note is the highest note, because if that's part of a melody note in the song, then that's the one that we want to come through. And often we find that's the one that seems to be the most difficult to get clear. So how am I doing it? How am I going to make sure that I get a good clean sound without really trying to squeeze my finger really tight so it starts to hurt? It's one of the biggest things that people mention when they start to learn barres. It starts to hurt their hands. Well, that's not what we want to do. We don't want to squeeze as if like the guitar neck's in between my thumb and my fingers, to really squeeze and it hurts the fingers. That's the last thing we want to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to demonstrate how I do it and give you a couple of tips as well. So the first thing is I do have my thumb, if I just show you, just bring that back in, and I have my thumb just below halfway, not kind of halfway or 3/4 of the way up at the back of the guitar neck there. Okay, it's just below halfway. You can see a couple of dark lines there on the make of the guitar. So I'm just below there. The last thing you want is your thumb to be not on, so you're trying to get a barre with not having your thumb behind on the guitar neck. So I've got my thumb in position on my left hand, and what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to rest my finger across the strings. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to place it down flat. Now we go. Of course we can't hear anything, so I squeeze a little bit harder, starting to get some sounds. Just a little bit harder again. But I really am not putting any real effort in this. It's just lying down. And really, if I just drop my elbow, just let my shoulder and elbow drop, like with gravity, just pulling it down, it just clamps the finger on without actually me doing any squeezing at all, really. I've got my thumb and my finger on the guitar neck so they don't drop off, but just that gravitational pull there, just dropping it down, is probably enough. So that's one way of doing it. That's push on. Just drop that arm, shoulder, whatever, and just let gravity make the finger and thumb just pull on, and then I'm just playing I and A, and you can hear the high string. If we're not getting a brilliant sound there, remember, all you're ever trying to do with the frets, putting your finger on a fret, is make sure that the string is touching that metal wire, the fret wire. That's all we're ever trying to do, really. If you're too far back, it won't get a good contact on there. So we come right up to the edge of the fret, and here's a little trick for you. So all I'm going to do here now is just roll my finger. Roll my finger towards my face this way, and I've just put my finger slightly on its side, very slightly. So it's more now like on that side part as opposed to the underneath part. Not very much, but just a little bit. And what I can do there, I can feel now it's gone onto the side of the finger. And often you find that gives us nice clearer contact. It's just one option to do. I prefer the flat finger because that helps the other fingers, but if that helps, that helps. That's the main thing. And eventually you get used to not putting too much pressure. So now we've got that and everything's good, but some people still struggle with this. So I'm going to show you another technique, and the other technique will start off with just a 2-string barre. So I pulled my thumb very slightly down again, just very little bit, but it's still on the back of the neck. It's not dropped off. Okay, and I've just straightened that finger out. It's not perfectly straight. It's not ultra straight. There's a little bend kind of in this joint here, but enough that I can still get a flat finger. So 2 fingers. Okay, so often feels a lot easier than 3. Okay, just angle my finger over again. And the way I did that, I just pivoted. Yeah. So the finger is touching string 1, and then I rolled it down onto the second string. It's just a rolling from the highest string to what will be the lowest string. So I'll do that again. Okay. And I'm just going to move my finger up, obviously, to do 3, and I start from the bottom and roll it on. And doing that, you often feel that comfort feeling of you're going to touch each string as you roll the finger. Okay, so we've done 2 techniques now. Flat down, drop the arm, just let the weight of gravity make your finger and thumb grip, but not too strong. And then we've done the rolling down. 2 fingers first, 2 strings first, then move your thumb slightly up to compensate for that, and then roll, and there you go, got that. So that's the basic techniques. Keep persevering. It always feels awkward. Everybody feels the same. You just have to keep practicing each day. Just do a little Barre exercise like I've shown you, and it will work. So the Barre Blues exercise, pretty straightforward. You need to know your Barre at the 5th fret. So the high note is A. So we're going to call that A minor in this instance. It's going to sound like a sad blues. We need to go to fret 10. So we move our finger onto fret 10, and that note is a high D. Freeze. Just roll my finger on. And we've got a new chord, and we'll call that D minor. So A minor. There's no point in playing the exercise until you're comfortable with the barres. If you're comfortable with the barres, then you can do the exercise. We're going to do one at fret 12, but you can see on the classical guitar with no cutaway, unlike the guitar that I've got just behind my shoulder there, is my electroacoustic, which has got a cutaway, and I use that for a bit more like jazz type playing. It's very hard to put finger 1 across because the hand just struggles to get over in a nice straight thing. It's all at an angle. Finger 2 is the same. So often I use finger 3 for a barre, but only at the 12th fret. Okay, that's the only time I do it. Or if I do harmonics. And in fact, in this exercise, instead of playing finger 3 as a barre, we're going to play it directly over the fret wire at the 12th fret there as it touches the guitar body. And we're going to play a harmonic barre. Okay, you can play the same notes or as a harmonic. Okay, so finger 3 or 4, but I tend to prefer finger 3. So there are our positions 5, 10 and 12, and we'll do that as we come through. So nice and easy. The Barre study should be quite comfortable to you now with the low note. So we've got E, G, A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Change now, A to C, open string D, fret 10. You can see half Barre, 10th position. Back to the R8 now. That's A, G, E. Here's our harmonic at the 12th fret. A, C, D, 10th fret, finger 1. R11. G, E, and here we go again. Harmonic, and then E, G, A, and you just keep repeating. Okay, simple as that. Just keep repeating and just have a bit of fun, just playing a little blues A minor. Okay, so I'll leave that exercise at that. Keep rewinding, keep looking exactly how I've described how to get the barre. And then when you're happy with the barre, play the exercise and have a little bit of fun. I'll probably develop this study a little bit later on into improvising, playing some little blues riffs and what we call licks and little runs using a scale that will work really, really well. And we can start playing, if you like, bass, chords, and a little bit of lead work as well. And eventually I'll keep developing these so that you're sounding a bit like a pianist with bass, melody, and harmony notes, which is going to be our song, melody, and eventually you'll just sound like we're playing 2 or 3 instruments at the same time, a bit like how we do in our classical guitar as we develop along anyway. So good luck with that, and look out for my video too.